Freedom is myth. Freedom, a word whispered on the lips of revolutionaries, a concept enshrined in constitutions. But what is freedom truly? Is it the absence of physical restraints? Or is there something more, something deeper, hidden beneath the surface of our daily lives? We believe we are free. We choose our clothes, our careers, our leaders. But are these choices truly our own? Consider this. Our desires, our beliefs, our very thoughts are shaped by forces beyond our conscious control. Society whispers in our ears, a constant murmur of expectations and norms. Culture paints the world in shades of right and wrong, acceptable and taboo. We are born into these narratives, these pre-existing frameworks that define the contours of our reality. From the moment we first open our eyes, we are bombarded with information. We learn what to value, what to fear, what to aspire to. This conditioning is essential for the functioning of society. It provides us with a shared language, a set of common goals, a sense of belonging. But it also limits us. It constrains our thinking, our imagination, our very potential. We become trapped in a cage of our own making, a cage built from the bars of societal expectations and cultural norms. We mistake conformity for freedom, obedience for choice. We become cogs in a machine, living out scripts written long before we were born. This is not true freedom. It is at best a pale imitation, a shadow play projected onto the wall of our minds. Our education systems, often hailed as bastions of freedom and enlightenment, can inadvertently perpetuate these limitations. We are taught to memorize facts, to conform to standardized tests, to value certain skills over others. This is not to say that education is inherently bad. Far from it. But it is to acknowledge that even the most well-intentioned systems can stifle creativity and independent thought. The media we consume, the stories we tell ourselves, the very language we use, they all play a role in shaping our understanding of what is possible, what is desirable, what is realistic. We are bombarded with images of success and failure, love and heartbreak, all filtered through the lens of our collective cultural conditioning. We internalize these narratives, these limiting beliefs, and they become self-fulfilling prophecies. This conditioning extends even to our understanding of spirituality and the nature of reality. We are taught to believe in a certain kind of God, a God who exists outside of ourselves, a God who judges and punishes. We are encouraged to seek salvation through external means, through rituals and dogmas, through blind faith and unquestioning obedience. This is not to disparage religion or spirituality. These can be powerful forces for good in the world. But it is to suggest that our understanding of these concepts, like everything else, is shaped by the cultural and historical context in which we live. We inherit the beliefs of our parents, our communities, our societies, and in doing so, we often inherit their limitations as well. Even our biology, the very fabric of our being, plays a role in limiting our understanding of freedom. Our brains, for all their complexity and wonder, are still products of evolution. They are wired for survival, not necessarily for truth or enlightenment. We are hardwired to seek pleasure and avoid pain, to conform to the group, to prioritize short-term gratification over long-term fulfillment. These evolutionary impulses served us well for millennia, helping us to survive in a harsh and unforgiving world. But in the modern age, they can become liabilities. Our cravings for sugar and fat, once essential for survival, now contribute to chronic diseases. Our instinct for tribalism, once necessary for protection, now fuels conflict and division. And our short-term focus, once adaptive for a dangerous and unpredictable environment, now prevents us from addressing long-term challenges like climate change and social inequality. Our biology, like our culture, is a double-edged sword. It gives us life, but it also limits us. It shapes our perceptions, our desires, our very understanding of what it means to be human. To achieve true freedom, we must transcend these limitations. We must learn to question our assumptions, to challenge our beliefs, to break free from the chains of our evolutionary past. This is not an easy task. It requires courage, self-awareness, and a willingness to confront the unknown. But the rewards are immeasurable. For in breaking free from the limitations of our biology and our conditioning, we open ourselves up to a world of infinite possibility. We begin to see ourselves not as limited, separate beings, but as integral parts of a vast and interconnected web of life. This brings us to the heart of the matter, the crux of true freedom, recognizing and embracing our own divinity. This is not about subscribing to any particular religion or dogma. It is about recognizing the infinite potential that lies dormant within each and every one of us. It is about understanding that we are not separate from the universe, but rather expressions of it, reflections of the same divine spark that animates all of creation. This realization, this awakening to our own divinity, is the ultimate form of freedom. It is freedom from fear, freedom from limitation, freedom from the illusion of separation. It is the freedom to create, to love, to experience the fullness of our being without reservation or restraint. This freedom is not something that can be given to us. It is not something that can be earned or achieved through external means. It is our birthright, our true nature, waiting to be uncovered, to be embraced. It is the realization that we are not just physical beings, but spiritual beings having a human experience. Unchaining this divinity requires a fundamental shift in perspective. It requires us to look beyond the surface, beyond the illusions of the material world, and to connect with the infinite wellspring of love, wisdom, and power that resides within. It is about recognizing that we are not separate from God, but rather that God is within us, and that by tapping into this inner divinity, we can achieve anything, overcome any obstacle, and create a life of unimaginable joy, purpose, and fulfillment. This journey of self-discovery, this awakening to our own divinity, is not a destination but a process. It is a continuous unfolding, a lifelong exploration of the infinite possibilities that lie within. It is about shedding the layers of conditioning, the limiting beliefs, the fears and doubts that keep us separate from our true nature. It is about recognizing that we are not defined by our past, our mistakes, our perceived limitations. We are not our thoughts, our emotions, our physical bodies. We are something far greater, something boundless and eternal. We are the universe experiencing itself, the divine spark made manifest in human form. The freedom that comes from this realization is not the freedom to do whatever we want, but the freedom to be who we truly are. It is the freedom to live from a place of love, compassion, and wisdom. It is the freedom to create a world that reflects our highest values, our deepest aspirations, our most cherished dreams. This is the true meaning of freedom. It is not about escaping from the world, but about transforming it from the inside out. It is about recognizing that we are not just individuals, but interconnected threads in the tapestry of life, each one of us essential to the whole. It is about embracing our divinity and using it to create a world that is more just, more compassionate, and more aligned with the highest good of all.